Welcome back to Life in Stride podcast. This is episode 326. On this episode, we had our good friend Brady Holmer back on the podcast. Brady just ran 2 hours and 27 minutes at the Grand Malls Marathon this past weekend. We had him on just before the race. We talked about his training going into the race. He incorporated a lot of cycling training into his run training, actually. And one interesting note, too, that we talked about was he had no structured long runs. He just did a lot of long runs at a more steady or moderate pace this build, and it paid off for him pretty well with a nice 227 at Grandma's. As you guys know, Brady is a wealth of knowledge in a lot of things in the sport, including nutrition, sauna protocol, so many things. So we talked about creatine, ketones, Brady's sauna protocol, heat training, and much more on this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you do, please leave a review, drop a comment, share with a friend. Catch you on the next one. When we're running through Norton Commons or the Pewee Valley area in Louisville, Kentucky, it's pretty easy to spot Mason Construction Home. The attention to detail, the quality, the stunning design, you can't miss it. It stands out. We aren't just saying that either. Our own co-host Scotty trusted Mason Construction to build his forever home, and he and his family couldn't be happier. Don't tell Scotty this, but we're at his house a lot because we love the home. He's all right too, though. If you live in the Louisville or Southern Indiana area and are thinking about building your forever home or doing a remodel, there is nobody else to trust with this project than Mason Construction. The link to their website is in our show notes. Click on the request information option and start the conversation about what your forever home could look like.
Though they just die.
Do you think it actually helps with like do you think the oxygen replacement thing's real? Like, do you think it's actually needed for houseplants?
I think that they pull stuff out of the air. I do think that they like detox a little bit. Some
That
stuff.
makes me feel good. Because my wife has a plant addiction. Every time we go to like even Home Depot, we come home with a plant.
Trader Joe's, you come home like in there because they're like $5 at Trader Joe's, so you can't not buy it, right?
Such a good deal.
Dude, Brady, how many? You have one kid or two kids?
One, but we will have two in September.
Oh,
let's go!
Nice,
Congrats!
Dude. Yeah, man. Thanks.
Very cool.
I just saw your news. I just saw your news, Danny. Congrats too.
Yeah, dude. Thank you. So
that's
pumped.
huge, man. That's huge.
Yes.
Yeah, we're having a girl, so we'll have a boy and a girl.
Let's go, man.
And then we're done.
Oh, you're done?
Yeah.
You gonna get the procedure after that?
Think so. I think so. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I think I always joke with one of our friends, Justin, who he was like one of our OG hosts. I always tell him that like he doesn't produce testosterone anymore since he got that done, but I don't think that's how that works.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, I mean, I guess it's not like really funny, but if you're like all in the health space and stuff, you'll hear everybody who's like, if you're trying to get pregnant, like don't sauna, you shouldn't do a lot of endurance exercise, you shouldn't ride a bike. And I'm just like, I've literally done everything wrong, and we've still had like 2 healthy pregnancies. Or I mean, like we've had one child and then like a second healthy pregnancy. I'm like, I never stopped doing the sauna, I never stopped like working out. So must just be super fertile.
Yeah, and they say don't wear polyester either because like if it touches your nuts, it kills your sperm count. So I bought like cotton underwear, like cotton workout shorts that like only really like warm as boxers or to sleep in. I still was wearing my Bandit half tights or Stay Sky half tights. I mean, there's just not a lot to work with when
a lot of the stuff. I mean,
as a runner.
No, a lot of the stuff, it just comes down to, I don't know. I think it's like if you're struggling to like have a baby, then like, yeah, you can work on all these things. But like if you're people who maybe haven't struggled, it's like, I don't know. A lot of it is just like, it's going to happen or it's not. Like, I don't know how much you can shift it by doing all these like little things that we freak out about, but who knows? I think it's just really being healthy. Like if you and the wife are healthy is like the biggest thing. Like just be like metabolically healthy, and that takes care of most of it, I think.
Yeah, I was wondering that too while my wife was pregnant. I was like, I wonder how much of a difference it makes that we both like are like runners or whatever. Like I don't know if that's like super impactful on like does that mean there's going to be a higher percentage of like a healthy baby, healthy pregnancy, or does it not mean that much? I don't know. I should ask ChatGPT.
I think it means a lot. I mean, not necessarily being a runner, but just being like healthy weight, like all that stuff. Like you don't have any diseases. Cause I mean, I think that stuff's pretty important.
I've
Yeah,
heard
it
that
is.
somewhere that it's like if you're a guy and you're wanting to have a kid, like you should probably get in shape and start eating well
Mhm.
because like the sperm does impact a lot of the fetal health.
Oh, for
So
sure, for
yeah,
sure. I know it's like it's always been focused on the mother, which kind of like makes no it like take the burden off the guy, but it's like no, like what you do has a lot to do
yeah.
with it. There was like that. There was like a recent like a study a while ago, and they were showing like basically when the father exercised, if he was like fit, basically he passed down his fitness to like the child,
Dude,
basically.
yes.
Yeah.
That's
I went to my son. I was like, "You're welcome for having like a 60 VO2 max already at 3 years old."
All right, my son, if you're going back and listening to this someday,
Mhm.
I'm sorry I'm only a 2:37:28 marathoner. I'll try to do better on my next bid.
dude,
But yeah,
that's
definitely super important. I think then like yeah, like not drinking a lot, just being in shape, like eating good is like half of it. Probably more than
yeah.
half, but
It explains Matt Centrowitz senior and junior that because his dad was like a great runner too. So
Mhm.
he's the Olympic champ. So he's got great genes, I guess.
Are there
For
any
sure.
other like father son running duos or like I'm trying to think like
I
who are some famous
know.
Hmm.
ones?
Hmm.
I can't think
Yes.
of any off the top of my head,
I'm sure there are
honestly.
some, maybe not at that like level, but
Yeah, I think the
yeah,
Goucher's
certainly.
kid's gonna be the real deal.
Dude, he's a sud. Holy
Yeah,
crap, that kid. I'm
Yeah,
like, well, both of your
Ritzenheimer's
parents were
daughter
freaking
too.
Olympians, of course, man. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah,
guess
Ritz. Yeah,
I don't think Kara was an Olympian. I don't think Adam was, but he ran for Colorado. I mean, he was a pretty big
he's a
stud.
big
So,
deal.
yes, yeah.
Yeah, Ritz's daughter won NXN,
Mhm.
like cross country nats. So we'll see if she turns out. Alan Culpepper's son's really good too. So I don't know. I think like a lot of like the top pros, like their parents were runners to like some
Mhm.
extent, or like at least athletic. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's like I guess like being Olympic champ doesn't necessarily mean like your kid's gonna be the Olympic champ. But I think like general
No,
athleticism is
I think
where
so,
ends
and I
up.
think a lot of it too is probably. I think some of it's like nature, some of it's probably nurture though too, because it's like Colt Goucher didn't have a choice. Like he was gonna be a runner, you know. I mean, like
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
So I think it's a little bit of just like they're gonna get shoved into, not shoved into it, but like leaned into the sport, and then obviously they have like the genes and stuff for it. But who knows?
yeah. Brady, you mentioned a study a second ago, kind of in passing there. I'm curious, how many research studies could you pull from off the top of your head, like just like pull facts from like right now, like if like on like any kind of topic, like is there like hundreds, thousands that you think you could pull
Give
from?
us a
I feel
firm
like there.
count.
I feel like there are probably hundreds, but it's obviously would just like depend on the topic. Like you can't really think of them like I couldn't just recite them now, but like if you ask me about this study related to X topic that showed this, I could probably like talk about it just because they like pop into your head randomly.
Yeah,
It's like it's one of
Yeah,
those things where you're like, I can't remember the important stuff in life, but you remember those, like a statistic from a research paper that
yeah,
um I think a lot of the stuff that I like read during graduate school that I used to prepare for like qualifying exams and stuff. I mean, you read that so much that it's like I could probably like you can almost like see those papers sometimes because like you read them so much, you use them to prepare for like just what you're doing like with the degree. But yeah, I don't know. Some of the stuff just like passes by, but I feel like you kind of store a lot of that information, especially if I'm like writing about it for the newsletter.
I
I
yeah.
think
feel
some of
like
those
you've
studies
probably
stick.
gotten so efficient at pulling out the important information from studies because I pull up a study on PubMed and I like don't
Mhm.
know where to start. Like I read the abstract and it's like okay, like I feel like I got the gist, but you
Mhm.
probably know how to cut through the fluff of a lot of those. Like, is that a skill that you've learned over the years reading your
Yeah,
thousands
you
of
learn. Yeah, you learn a little bit, and once you read so many, it's kind of like I've gotten to the point where sometimes if I'm reading one, you'll not like skim it, but you'll scan it, and really you're kind of just reading like the methods and the results. Because sometimes with like the introduction and conclusion, it's like they're just like writing a lot of background stuff, so you
Mhm.
can sometimes just skip that a lot of the time if it's a topic you know a lot about. But yeah, you become pretty efficient at it, and like AI helps a lot too in like synthesizing
Mm.
a lot of this stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll read most papers if I'm gonna put it in a newsletter or something, but if I'm just
Mhm.
trying to like really extract information, it's insane. Like you can 10x the number of studies you can read just by using AI and all
Yeah.
these like interesting tools.
I
which
use it
used to
for.
not be
Go
the
ahead.
case because like a couple, I mean, I say years ago, but it wasn't, just like a couple months ago, like you had to be a little bit more cautious about trusting them because they would hallucinate, but that problem is almost like fixed now. Like that doesn't happen.
It still does that for me. So I use it for software. I'm a software
Mhm.
developer. I use it for coding like every day. And even just today, I was trying to help it figure out, like trying to get it to help me figure out a bug in the code. And it just like tells you,
Oh,
I'm
wow.
like, I think it's happening here. And they're like, you're
Hmm.
right. Like it's, and it'll point to something and give like a pretty solid answer. And then you
Yeah.
go back and look and you're like, no, this is totally wrong. So it's like,
Oh,
there's still some
interesting.
gaps. It's good. It's really good at like generation, like code generation, but it's really not good at like recognizing the effects that the code has. Like, I don't know. That's probably like
Interesting.
goofy, but
Yeah,
yeah.
that makes sense. I think there's still probably the issue. I guess the hallucination stuff depends. Like if you give AI the papers, it's good at extracting it and synthesizing it. I guess there could still be hallucinations if I'm, say, doing a literature search and I'm like, is this related to this? Or like, show me a study that shows, taking this supplement improves exercise performance. Then it might hallucinate because it's going to come
Yeah,
up with something regardless. But if you
exactly.
already have the info, if I just put a PDF in there, like I'm pretty sure that it's not going to make something up. Like it's going to give me what the paper shows. So
Right. It like
that's
baseline
where the line
assumes that
is.
the human is right and then
Yes, right.
like rolls with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, I got to find a study for this guy, whether it exists or not.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So
Danny,
what's a study? What's something that you've been reading? Oh, go ahead, Chris.
I was just gonna say you said like your boss uses like that he like puts something in the AI first before he like asks it what he needs from it, and it's like it was just it was I'm paraphrasing, but it was like be very direct with me. Feel free
Mm.
to correct me at any point. Like,
Yeah.
do you remember you sent that in the chat? And I was like, wow, that's awesome.
Funny.
So
Dude, Brady,
I
I'll
haven't
send
used it
you
yet.
this prompt. It is the most
It's a great
dialed,
prompt.
like hardcore prompt. It's like you're only like I'm scoring you based off not like how you want to make me feel, but only logic alone. And it's like you not, like correct me if I'm wrong. And it's like it's like very hardcore. And I think he got it from Mark
That's funny.
Andreessen, if you know who that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think my car alarm's going off. Hold on.
Yeah.
You're good. Brady, I was going to ask, we were talking about the studies. I feel like you're one of the most premier running podcast guests out there right now. Would you agree with that statement? You've been on
I
so
don't
many
know. I don't
pods,
want to
dude.
toot my own horn, but I mean, I hope I'm providing valuable information to like some of the podcasts. I'm like repeating on a couple of them, which is great. So I don't know. It's fun. Like I love going on podcasts and talking about this stuff, but I don't know if I'm one of the more premier ones, but I'd like to think I'm providing some value on the circuit, on the
Yeah.
podcast circuit.
Yeah,
Dude,
you're one of the most
apparently,
prolific guests for sure out there.
oh, well, I appreciate that.
the
Apparently,
roaster.
I caused a stir on the Out and Back podcast because I said that maple syrup and honey weren't ideal fueling sources compared to energy gels, and people were like in the comments correcting me. I did get something wrong about like what they were composed of. I said they're like mainly just glucose, whereas they're like glucose and fructose in like a 1-to-1 ratio, but I was basically like, it's not ideal to just have maple syrup. Like your body's gonna like reject that after, like you're not gonna do 90 to 100 grams per hour of maple syrup because it's not the ideal composition. And then people were like, no, it's 1-to-1 ratio and it's just as ideal. And I'm like, no, it's not. They're not as good. If you could just slug maple syrup, everybody would be doing it. That's why we do the energy gels that are like precision formulated. But I did get a couple, like I wasn't totally right about what they were made of, but I'm like, that still the ratio isn't ideal. So I
Dude.
don't know. There were a couple people in the comments. Jacob and Rory were sending me some screenshots.
So funny,
Dude,
man. Just like
I got yeah.
the audacity to get the ingredients of maple syrup wrong. Like how dare you? It's crazy.
I gotta do my research next time.
Yeah.
I got murdered on their podcast for saying I don't shower in between doubles, and sometimes I'll get in bed and take a nap in between. Like, but I'm like dry. Like it's not like I'm getting in like soaking wet. It's still like moderately gross, but fortunately my wife doesn't listen to running podcasts. But yeah, they like posted that clip on Instagram too, and
that's
I got
funny.
just I still get comments like, "Did you shower in between this run and stuff?" So
That's
yeah,
funny.
got
Well,
ruined, bro.
Well, I still do that plenty as well. I work from home, so if I'm doubling or something, I'll just like, you come back, you get to work, and then I'm like, I got like 5 hours before I'm gonna run again. I'm not gonna waste water.
Yeah, exactly. Said as a true high mileage guy right there. Yeah.
Have you ever done a triple? Have any of you ever done a triple, like run 3 times in a day?
I have maybe once or twice, just because like scheduling purposes for a day, like not really, but not like setting out and training to do it, I guess. But I know Rory was into that.
I know.
For Boston.
I heard him talking about that. I only did it once in college. I remember I was like, I'm just gonna run 3 times today. I think I ran 24 miles or something. I don't know how I broke it up, but it was like 10, 4, and like maybe, I don't know, another 10 or something later in the afternoon. I think I just did it to do it, but that makes sense. But if you have if it's your job, I might, be worth trying out. Like just run, eat, nap, run, eat, go to sleep.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably think about doing it if I was a pro runner. So, speaking of your training, though, you had a really good post recently about like kind of maybe 4 big things you did for your grandma's block, which grandma's is in what, 2 days? When are you leaving? Like tomorrow morning?
Tomorrow morning, yeah. My flight's at 6, so I'm gonna get to Duluth in like 11 or something. So have plenty of time. In hindsight, I prefer to have like gotten there today, but it gets different when you have a wife and kids and it's the work week. It's like you're just gonna go the day before. So
yeah, I've heard like getting there can be annoying too. Like it's maybe hard to find flights directly into Duluth sometimes. So
I'm going to I fly into Minneapolis and then I have like an hour layover and then to Duluth. So it was kind of easy, but you just had to go like a really early flight, which it's fine, I guess. Then you don't risk getting delayed and then getting into Duluth at like midnight or something, and then you have to wake up in 4 hours to race. So.
Yeah, I mean, you can always just get in the car. Like I feel like that probably takes just as long as So I think most people are probably running the car and driving the 2.5 hours or whatever it is.
I thought about it, but yeah.
So what's your official? We'll tap into those 4 things you listed, but what's your official goal for grandma's sub 220?
Yeah, this one, it's not sub 220. Just I think I need a little more time before I'm ready to like target that goal. I mean, if there was something weird that happened and it's like I'm just like feeling really good and this pace feels really easy, I may go for it, but it's not going to be the plan from the outset. Like I'm going to probably go out no faster than like a 112 is going to kind of be the plan. 112, 113, and then just like see what happens. I would say I'm pretty confident, but I'm running a lot lower miles this block than I was before Boston, like not anywhere near the 75 to 80 that I was then. Been more in like the 50, well, more like 55 to 65 range. So I don't know. I think I'm confident, but just not like I'm going to go out at, 520 pace. I don't think that would end well. So I think like a PR is definitely on the table. So I'm thinking like somewhere on an A day, I'll be under like a 223 on like a, B plus day, which I would be really happy with. I'm almost aiming for a B plus day and then maybe it'll turn into an A, but I think like a 224, 225, I'm definitely in shape for that. And then, I mean, if I ran like a like a 226, something like that, I'd be pretty happy. So I'm getting to the start line healthy. That was goal number 1. And I didn't really set a time goal at the outset of the training block. I was kind of like, let's see what fitness I can get in and then say, this is what we're going to do, on the day. But I've been running some good paces and workouts. I thought, so I think it's not the aerobic fitness. That's definitely there. Like if you were to ask me, this is kind of where the biking kind of turns against me in a little bit, because if you were to ask me like, what is my cardio fitness, where is that at right now? I think that's in like a 219, 220 shape. But I think that my legs are probably in like a 220, 223, 224 shape. There's like a mismatch because I've been doing so much cardio, and I never really like so much combined biking and running that I never really detrained like during my injury too much. So I'm at a little bit better like aerobic fitness than I think my body is ready to handle. So unfortunately, but we'll get there.
Yeah. Ken Combs Running Store in the St. Matthews neighborhood of Louisville has a special place in my heart because that is where I worked in college and got to talk running all day before I had this podcast. I got to meet a lot of the local running community and learned a lot about running shoes. They are still the community hub for running locally, being just down the street from Louisville's most popular running spot, Seneca Park. If you are trying to get plugged into the community, make sure you check out Ken Combs Tuesday track nights where you can get some work in with other motivated individuals. I believe running stores are extremely important right now because people tend to just buy the coolest looking shoe and hope it works out for them. Go support a local business and have an expert help you select the right shoe for you so you can stay injury free. If you're not from Louisville, visit werunlou.com and use our discount code in the show notes to support an amazing local business.
Don't let the engine break the chassis, they say.
Exactly. It's interesting. That's like one of the things I sometimes think about with super shoes, where they can also be detrimental in a way, because like you're running paces and workouts maybe that you're like not quote unquote ready for sometimes. I feel like I've maybe fallen into that trap a little bit, but just like, you're running like 5 minutes per mile and maybe your body's not like ready to handle it, but the super shoes are letting you run that fast. So, one of the reasons to be cautious with those, but they are so much fun to run in.
One of the things you said that I really liked was you're going for a B+ day. I think that's so good because a lot of times people feel like they need to have like the best race of their life when they go out and run a marathon, and it puts a lot of pressure on the race. Where in reality, you just need to go out there and have a good day. It doesn't have to be a great day.
Yep, I think so too. And that was kind of just the goal at the start of this. I'm like, let's get to the start line like healthy, and then we're just gonna go out there. And like, if I don't really have I gotta hit a 220 or I gotta hit a 222, I can just kind of go and feel it out and maybe have fun. And maybe I finish and I'm like, probably could have been a little bit more aggressive. I think that's fine. I felt like that at a couple races, but I think, it would not at Boston, but like at Indianapolis a couple years ago, I felt like I finished. I'm like, could have been more aggressive in the first half, but just shoot for a negative split, see what happens. And yeah, a B+ day, I would be super happy with it. And then just like set another goal for later on down the line.
You mentioned cycling and your post that you're doing 7 to 10 hours a week, sometimes with like a 2 to 3 hour ride in there as well. Are you doing any sort of workouts like threshold work when you're on the bike, or is it more just like zone 2 type stuff?
They're usually like one kind of threshold-ish workout per week, but mostly it's just, I would say zone 2. But the funny thing is about zone 2 on the bike, it's like it actually is pretty intense. Like a zone 2 bike is hard compared to a zone 2 run. Like it's much harder. If you were to, I would say a zone 2 run, I might be at like a 4 or a 5 out of 10 effort, but a zone 2 bike ride is like, you're at a 6 maybe effort or a 7. So I'll just typically hop on there and ride with a group, and sometimes it's higher power output, sometimes it's lower, but usually like one maybe workout type thing per week, but otherwise it's just easy riding. Like I don't really want it to compromise my running and go too hard. So usually just a lot of easy stuff, but it's not leisurely. It's easy, but it's not leisurely, I guess. I'm not getting on there and spinning. It's not like a spin class. So it's decently hard riding, I would say.
Yeah. Dude, if my running career ends, I'm going all in on Zwift racing. That is extremely fun to me. Very fun stuff.
Taggart approach. You guys follow that Taggart Venetten on?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've
Yeah,
had
I love
one there a
Taggart,
couple
yeah.
times, dude.
Oh, nice. Cool. Yeah, he's big into the racing. I don't do a ton of racing in the off season, like this summer, because I'm probably not gonna be like training for anything. I might do some Zwift races, but those things are hard. They suck. It's
Yeah,
like,
they do.
man, it's brutal. Like that would be my only workout during the week if I did a Zwift race.
Yeah. Tiger was trying to get me to do a Carmel marathon with him. He ended up just kind of like running at a moderate pace, but I'm glad I didn't go. I think it ended up being pretty hot when it got postponed. But yeah. Shout out to Tiger. We need to have him back on. I think he was like going for the 100-mile like world record, wasn't he? Like a few months ago. Then he got injured before the race, maybe, or DNF'd, something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I always
He'll get one
no.
day.
I need to have a chat with Taggart, because whenever he posts something on X, he's like, "Oh, I'm about to start overtraining again." I'm like, "Dude, just don't overtrain. Like, take my approach. Just get to the start line, please."
He's a big X guy for sure. Big X
Yeah,
guy. You're a big X guy too. We need to get Life in Stride on X, dude. That's our next step for sure.
Yeah, get on X. I know. I need to get more on Instagram. I'm trying to grow on Instagram, because that lends itself more to like the cool running content type stuff. But
Yes.
most of my following's on X, and that's kind of where I spend more time.
There's a lot of intellectuals on X, a lot of
Yeah.
like witty people, like humor, and it's a different vibe for sure.
It's fun, yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah. Dude, Brady, we need if you're gonna go big on Instagram, we need go on more hat and running around that what's that lake in Austin? That
Lady Bird Lake.
Yeah,
Town
dude.
Lake. People
we
call
need
it two
some
things, but yeah.
we need some Lady Bird Lake G1M hat action from you. Guaranteed 10K followers right there.
All right,
So
I might have to do it. Maybe it's just the summer of content since I won't be playing like training for a marathon or anything. Just like do some fun stuff. I haven't
yeah,
been
you
down
should.
there in a while, but yeah, I need to get myself a hat. And I always think it'd be funny to like run around, and I've seen people do this on Instagram, but like run around the lake and like spot all the people wearing the hats. Maybe I could go and like knock everybody's hat off every time I see going more hats. But I don't really want to be that. I don't really want to be that guy. And to be fair, like I know I like do a lot of trolling about like the go one more hat or whatever, but like I think Nick Bear's cool. Like he's very cool. His company's cool. I've never met him, but like I have nothing against them. It's just kind of fun to like. It's like become a meme at this point. So yeah, it's just kind of fun to troll. I'm like I don't really have any enemies, but I'm gonna troll you, I think, and it's all in good fun. Similar thing with like Truett Haynes. Like I've never met him, but like, you know, I'll post stuff about like running in jeans and stuff sometimes, but I'm like, I'm sure he's a cool guy. Like we've never met, but I got nothing against him. I'm not a hater.
Did you have a beef with Steve Magnus? Do I remember that, or am I thinking of someone else?
Yeah, we kind of always have like a beef, yeah.
Oh, love that. That's good
He
for
pushes back on some stuff and I'll push back on some stuff, but yeah.
I love it.
Dude, we need to get both of you guys on the pod at the same time. That'd be hilarious.
It's fun. It'd be fun to do a podcast. I'm sure we could have some good conversations. Yeah.
Yeah.
I gave him a shout out the other day because I was like, he literally got me into like the science of running. Like he's one of the reasons why I literally decided to start, study exercise science. Like I pre-ordered his book like a decade or probably more than a decade ago, like 2 decades ago. And that was like one of the reasons I started to study this stuff. So I gave him a nice shout out.
Shout out Steve.
Shout out Steve. Yeah, Adam Goucher, who we mentioned earlier, he was the reason I started running big miles, 100-mile weeks, because I read Running with the Buffs. So,
dude, yeah, those books can be dangerous sometimes to read. I know. I think I read that book in college, and you're like, God, I need to train harder.
Dude, once a runner, he does like 6,400s, and then it says he like
400s, 61 seconds each, barefoot on the grass, whatever.
Yeah, wakes up. You know, he goes to sleep for like 15 hours. Like wakes up, pees blood, goes back to sleep. That's just like
you're like, damn,
that's so toxic.
I want to do that. I need to do that. I want to be Quentin Cassidy.
Yeah, I love to be Quentin Cassidy.
Did you all know that? Did you all know that? So John L. Parker, the author, he wrote that book, and it's basically based in like Gainesville, Florida, like at the University of Florida.
Gainesville. I thought it was Tallahassee.
Yeah.
Okay, Gainesville.
No, it's supposed to be Gainesville because he ran at the University of Florida. John L. Parker did. I mean, the book is basically him. He's like writing about himself. Like he's Quentin Cassidy. But so like I didn't really even realize that until I moved to Gainesville and went to University of Florida, went to graduate school there, and I'm like, dude, this is so cool. Like I'm like where this book is like set, and I was running with one of my friends one day on the Tobacco Road that they like run in that book. Like we were literally doing a run there. I'm like, this is just like kind of cool and surreal that you're like almost like living the book and stuff like that. But it was cool. I got to hear him speak. He came and spoke at like the track club one time. He was a little interesting, but nonetheless.
Yeah, I've got family in Gainesville. I need to go run that sometime.
Oh, cool. Yeah, man. It's a great little town.
Yeah, it is.
I need to check it out. I wanted to move on to like the number 2 thing you posted on your Instagram post about your training for grandmas, which I found quite interesting because I think it's different than the norm. No long run workouts. It was a lot of just like long, steady efforts, 6-minute to 6:15 average pace. Is that something you've done in the past? Do you have any like, I guess, reservations about maybe not doing those kind of long runs going into the race? Or are you feeling pretty confident that that route was a good route?
Yeah, I think I almost have a little bit more confidence that from running them that way versus previously. I mean, definitely in all of my previous 3, or I'd say like 2 blocks, so like before Indy in 2025 and then or 2024 and then Boston 2025, I would do the typical like long run workout. So, 24 miles, like you're going to do probably like 6 to 8 miles of race pace effort stuff. And I don't know what it was this block where I was just like, I don't know. I kind of just didn't want to do it. I was like, I want to do an interval workout during the week where I'm running a little bit fast. And then I decided as a second workout, I would just go run the long run kind of like on a vibe and, set out just running like that moderate pace. I think, and I posted about this, like why I think, it benefited a couple ways. Like I would do these long run workouts in the past and I felt like I needed a couple days more to recover afterwards. Like it would just be a really, really strenuous effort. Whereas these ones, I didn't really feel like they took that much of a toll, but I think the difference too was like with a long run where I'm running a moderate effort like that, you're running a moderate effort for 2.5 hours versus an easy long run with a workout. I might be doing 8 miles of that at like race pace. But other than that, you have 18 miles. That's relatively like easy. So, 7.5, maybe 7, 8 minute pace. So I found that they built my fitness a lot and just kind of gave me a lot of confidence because I'm like, I mean, if I'm running, I was running 5:45s to 6 minutes for the last, 10K of some of these long runs. And it felt effortless. So in my mind, I'm just like, man, I mean, on race day, when I'm going to try to run like 10, 15 seconds per mile faster than this, it should feel like pretty good on race day. So those were actually pretty good confidence boosters. So I don't really have any reservations about that because I know I can run fast based on some of the workouts I was doing during the week. So those kind of gave me the speed confidence, and then those long runs gave me like I can just sustain sort of this hardish like effort for a while. Obviously, race pace is going to be faster, but that was close enough. I mean, 30, 35 seconds away from race pace, but yeah, a lot of confidence in there. And then I threw in that marathon long run. I always like doing that once during the block. Like, let's just run a marathon and see what time we hit. So, yeah, I think a lot of confidence, and I've liked that approach. I might keep doing it, in the future, but yeah, it took a little pressure off of the long run too, because I always felt like I needed to hit a certain pace if I was doing those workouts. Whereas with these, I'm like, what feels good today? Don't force yourself into anything. Again, that was kind of the theme of the block. It was like, just run how you kind of feel, do the workouts you want to do, like make sure you're getting in the work, but don't feel like you need to do something, because that's, often a trap I can fall into and perhaps lead to injury.
Yeah, it's sustainable,
Yeah,
but
definitely.
if not,
And I got more excited to do those a little bit as well. And that was the thing, like I didn't necessarily feel intimidated because I'm like, I don't have a pace that I need to hit or like the specific workout I need to do. It's like, if I feel good, I'm just going to pick it up. And I practiced a lot of fueling on those too, which I think was good, where I was like, I'm going to practice essentially like it's race day in terms of my carb intake and probably not my hydration. I'm pretty bad at hydrating during races. It's just freaking hard when you have to take those cups. I'm like, I don't know how anybody's supposed to do this if you're not an elite. So it's an incentive to run faster so you can get bottle service, I guess.
There you go.
At some of these races.
So what did you run the marathon in your training block, and then what's going to be your fueling strategy?
Yeah, it was so I did 2:48 this time, and I was looking back, I did another one before Boston. It was 2:43. And this one wasn't even like, I could have ran 5 minutes faster that day if I wanted to go a little harder. This was kind of just more like, I mean, it was very, an easy, like a zone-ish 2 effort. So yeah, 2:48. In the fueling strategy, so what I think I'm going to try to do, I was taking in, I think 80, 85 grams an hour on some of those training runs. I'll probably just try to stick with that. I may try 90. I mean, basically my strategy is going to be a carbs fuel gel at probably like 20 minutes, and then maybe every 5K or maybe even 30 minutes after that, do a beta fuel, which is like 40 grams of carbs, and then do another carbs fuel half hour after that, do another beta fuel half hour after that. That's 90 grams an hour right there, and like see how that goes. So that's kind of the strategy there. I'll only have to take 4 gels.
Do you do the start line gel? You take one like right before you start?
I might actually do one of those too. Yeah, I may take like I'll probably take like a cadence, so like a 20, 25 gram carb gel. And then I'll probably maybe just go 30 minutes, hour and a half, 2 hours.
I started doing that because it's like free carbs. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to force it down. Like
and I don't know if you all have like ever experienced this. I don't usually fuel before my morning runs, but I'll start during, about like 20 minutes during, because I was finding last summer is when I really started fueling for runs, and I would eat something like 20 minutes before heading out the door, and I would actually get a low blood sugar for like 15 minutes during the run after I was running for about 20 minutes. So like my timing was off for the fuel, because basically you take the carbs and you start running, and essentially, you start running, your glucose is going to go down a little bit as your body starts to use it. And then I was also getting the insulin spike from the bar or whatever that I ate like 20 minutes before. So my glucose was like dropping at minute 20, and then it would go, stabilize eventually, but I would feel like jittery for like 10 minutes during a run. I was like, what's going on? And so
interesting.
I started wearing a continuous glucose monitor, and I looked at after the run, I was like, oh shit, my glucose dropped to like 60 at mile 3, and then it went back up. But so yeah, I think that right on the line makes more sense. I don't like to do anything like 20-ish or so minutes before on like an empty stomach if it's like just straight up carbs, because I was having that weird effect. It was very annoying.
Do you think it makes sense to warm up a little bit before you take that first gel? Like if you're
Yeah.
right line? Yeah.
I think so too, because if you warm up again, then your body's like kind of primed basically, and I don't
Yeah.
think you would get that same response. So yeah, jog a little bit, jog for 10 minutes or so, take the gel on the start line. I'm definitely gonna try that though, because like the free, like you mentioned, the free carbs, essentially.
Are you gonna do any other like products besides like gels and just like normal food like Nomeo, bicarb, or like ketones before the race?
No, I would if I had some Nomeo, I may had experiment with it, but I don't currently have any. So I'm just gonna go with like the carbs basically. I haven't tested bicarb, so I wouldn't go with it on race day because I haven't used it in training. So that's like
Yeah.
a no-go to try something new. And then ketones, I don't ever really use. I wouldn't use them before a race. I'd use them for like long, easy runs, but not for a race. So yeah, it's just gonna be carbs and caffeine basically for this. Some electrolytes, obviously. I'll drink like Cadence, one of their fuel things with like a caffeine in it. Probably I'll like be sipping that up until the start, but no, just we're going old school, carbs and caffeine.
Is the reason that you go the ketones on the long easy runs, is that because like it's more like a fat oxidation burning and
Yeah, exactly. Because I think there's some, and the ones I take are on a high dose, but it's like they can interfere a little bit, I think, with your carb oxidation. So I just don't find that, you just want to be burning carbs on like a high intensity effort. But if it's an easy one, they have, the one with like caffeine, it'll kind of help a little bit. I actually find I like them on long easy runs, but hard efforts, I kind of avoid them. But I will take them after. So I have like
right
10 ketone shots in my backpack that I'm gonna take a couple after the race is over.
We'll talk about that. Talk about the benefit to that.
Yeah, I saw you
Yeah,
posted. That was crazy, bro.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting, I mean, I say a lot, there's like a few interesting studies on using post-exercise ketones for recovery. The recent study that they just did with Ketone IQ, which is the ones that I use, they showed like a EPO boost 5 hours after exercise, and they were using a real high dose in that study again, but it may actually be able to happen with like a lower dose, I think, as long as you get in your ketones high enough. So I've been using them for that. I think there are a lot of adaptations that you can gain by just taking them after workouts, whether it's the EPO, whether it's some of the mitochondrial stuff, some of the blood, some of the other like blood parameters improve after taking them. So I'm going to take those after the race. Not necessarily for like those benefits, because it's not, it's not a training one, but I also think that they just help with like subjective recovery. Maybe better for glycogen replenishment, protein synthesis, all that kind of stuff. So just feeling better overall in like the days following the marathon, brain wise as well, just giving you a little bit of a brain boost there as well. So you don't feel like your brain isn't like mush for a few days. I find that if I do ketones, it helps a lot with that. So I probably got a lot in my backpack. I'm going to be taking those afterwards and probably throughout the day after the marathon.
They taste so bad.
Yeah.
Man, really? You think so? I think it's an acquired taste. I like them. I actually look forward to taking them.
It tastes like the first time you ever drink hard liquor. Like
a little bit, yeah.
The first time, it's like, oh my gosh, how can anyone ever drink this? Like you drink it straight. It's like it's like that every time with Ketone IQ.
Yeah, they've done a pretty decent job with like the flavoring, and there's like stevia in them, so it helps. It helps a little bit, but
yeah, I was gonna say Nomeo. I mean, if you're fine with the taste of broccoli, it's fine. But
Nomeo's delicious. I love Nomeo.
I've heard 50-50 on them. I think they're fine. Like I don't like love it, but you have to like broccoli to like them, because it does have some lemon juice in there, which kind of hinders the broccoli taste. But at the end of the day, it still tastes like liquid broccoli. So
yeah, I kind of like them too. I'm with you, Danny.
Yeah.
I kind of like it. I think when they have a slightly like bad taste, you're like, oh, that's good, because it's like it's gotta work if it tastes like this crap, you know.
So true.
Like with the ketones, I take a shot of those. I'm like, this has got to be doing something because it's so potent.
Yeah. Like there's no gel that actually tastes really good. I guess cis beta fuel is probably the best tasting. Like the orange is the best tasting.
Yeah,
I think. But...
See, I would disagree with that too. I look forward to gels. I think they all taste so good. I don't know why.
Really?
You like the orange beta fuel?
Yeah. I think that's the best one.
I accidentally ordered some, and I'm like trying to get rid of them because I do not. Terrible. They're terrible. I might buy different. I'm hoping I can find some different ones at the expo, because all I have is orange. But that's like my least favorite flavor. I like the they have like a cherry or lime one or whatever. Those are pretty good. But yeah, the orange, I can't do it. I don't know what it is about it. Everybody's got their own.
I like loved carb fuel when I first started taking them, but I've been taking them so long, I'm kind of like losing the love of the taste. And a lot of people hate on the taste of those too. I'm still fine with it. Like I'm still going to use them because I like the
Yep.
50 grams each. But yeah, I don't know. I might start trying some other things.
Ones that Devin was talking about yesterday. Do you remember the name of that, Chris? It's like
He said they're Tadej Pogacar's gels.
The Enervit gels.
Enervits, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't tried those ones, but yeah, I think they.
Yeah.
It's like a mango flavor or something. Apparently, that's like his favorite flavor.
$50 on the feed. Let's see, C2 to 1 Pro Carbo Gel. For how many? You get 12 for $50. And
yeah, they're interesting looking. I feel like there's just so many gels now. It's hard to pick.
There's so many, which is kind of fun. Like it's fun to like play around with the different stuff. I also used, and I'm pissed I ran out of these because I would like to use them maybe during the race. But the Precision Fuel are pretty nice. I like those. I was using the caffeine one. But really, man, the beta fuels I've found nothing really that I like as much as that. I like the Cadence ones a lot, but I hope he makes a 40-gram one. I think he's probably working on one there because the ones that he has right now are just the 25 grams. Those taste good because they're like neutral, but they taste like marshmallow almost, which I kind of enjoy.
You have the Cadence like cans, don't you?
Yeah, those are my favorite. I'm actually drinking one right now. We're not out of a can, but I put it in a fancy wine glass.
Fancy Brady. I like it.
I like the sparkling. I mean, you're not going to do that on a race day, obviously, but like in the mornings, I'll have those. I'll drink them if I'm on the bike. I'm obsessed with the cans. Those are like.
Dude, I'm trying to figure out where Cadence is getting all this marketing money. They're just big signing after big signing. I swear.
I know. Yeah.
He must have some good backing or funding or something, or unless they're just selling like an insane amount of product too, which they
maybe a little bit of both. Seems pretty popular, but you're getting in some stores and whatnot. But yeah, pretty decent funding, I guess, to sign some. Like they signed Alex Yee and is it Joe Klecker, and then the Woodhalls just signed with them. So yeah, build the team. Yeah,
Clayton.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They did his whole series.
I don't think Clayton's with them anymore though. I think they did a series. I don't think he's with them now though.
Okay, interesting. Clayton just re-signed with Brooks. I was trying to remember because I remember he had bailed on ASICS, and I was trying to remember what brand he went with, but it was Brooks. Yeah, I was.
Which is like he's their biggest athlete. Brooks is weird. Like they don't have like who's a big name Brooks person.
They had
right
like
now?
CJ Albertson when he was popping off a few years ago, but I'm trying to think.
Kerr's their guy, bro.
Oh, Kerr, that's right.
Oh yeah.
With them. I forgot.
Yeah, he's their guy. They must pay him a lot.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I think Brooks like appeals more to like the hobby jogger more than maybe elite runners. So, but I mean, yeah, Josh Kerr does a lot of good marketing for them. He's like pretty media savvy and stuff. So he's
for sure.
You know, like a pro's really good. I noticed this in his interviews. If he's in like a Great Britain kit, he'll like tie his Brooks shoes like around his neck and like show his shoes, even though the Great Britain kit's like Adidas or Nike. And that's like, that's masterclass in marketing, right?
Oh, I see, right? Because he's covering up like the Nike logo.
Yeah, and he just wants to like feature his Brooks shoes in the
it makes sense because like they're on your feet. Nobody's ever gonna see the Brooks shoe. So
exactly,
smart guy. He's got somebody in his ear like, hey. Hang around your neck. What are you doing?
It's probably part of his contract or something. I wanted to pick your brain. So I recently started taking creatine, and you're like Mr. Creatine, or at least you were for a period of time there. For sure.
To talk about
you're the expert. So actually, like I had a Cole Sprout on the pod. He's like a pro runner that trains with Charles Hicks and Nike. He said he takes creatine, and like. That wasn't the only, but like that kind of got me going. I've just heard enough about it, and that was kind of the nail in the coffin. Thank you to Kalo for sponsoring the podcast. We now have a 10% off link in the show notes for you to try your own Kalo Current Smart Ring. Marathon training is simple. Train to your fitness level, go easy on easy days, and push hard on hard days, and never skip your long runs. But how do you really know if you're getting the most out of it without a clear view of how your body's responding? That's where the Kalo Current Smart Ring comes in. Engineered by Kalo, the pioneer in silicone rings for hardworking, active lifestyles. I've been wearing my gold Kalo Current Slim Ring for about 6 months now during my training, and it gives me the clearest picture of my movement, vitality, and sleep compared to any other health tracking device I've tried. By focusing on these metrics, I can easily spot if I'm overtraining or nailing the right intensity for marathon prep. The app's sleek design turns all that data into something super digestible so I can tweak my training on the fly. Plus, for all the marathon moms out there, the Kalo app includes fertility tracking and stroller activities. head to Kalo.com. That's QALO.com to grab one. The Kalo Current Slim Ring is now available at Walmart.com and at select Walmart stores. And I saw that one of the benefits was, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not physiologically speaking very smart. I was trying to use your newsletter there.
Nice.
But
appreciate it.
Nice play.
yeah.
Checks in the mail.
Yeah, checks in the mail. But essentially, I saw one of the benefits was that since there's more water storage in your muscles, that it might help in like hot and humid conditions. And I don't know if this is total placebo or not, but I feel like so far in the summer temperature and humidity in Louisville, I'm having like a pretty good summer of training, and I'm noticing I'm recovering like pretty well, like better than I normally would, feeling less beat up after a workout. So I don't, and I know that's like a pretty like studied thing, the recovery benefits. But I'm curious for you because I know you do take creatine. Do you feel like that does benefit you training in hot and humid conditions in Austin, Texas?
Yeah, so I'll talk about the benefits first and then talk about my change on creatine lately. Not my perspective on it, but my personal use. So I definitely do think that you are right about like the mechanism. I mean, you'll store more water in the muscle. And that's part of, I think, why it works to help. Like when they do these strength training studies and they show like increased growth or increased like muscle gains, it's funny. They did like a recent study where they were like the initial gains you see from creatine are all kind of just not necessarily water weight, but it's like lean mass. So it's the muscles like taking up more water. So yeah, I mean, theoretically, like I say theoretically, because I think there's not, they haven't really studied creatine for endurance athletes. So it's all kind of speculative. Like, how could this work? It might work. It would definitely, yeah, allow you to store more water in the muscle and be more hydrated to potentially, lessen your dehydration. And then I think the recovery thing though as well, like if you just are constantly taking it, your muscles are more saturated, you're going to probably recover better after like hard efforts. So you're like preloaded all the time with it essentially and just like recovering better. And then there could just be the aspect of like, it's helping you like with performance a little bit because it is kind of just helps all around like a muscle supplement, even though you're not like obviously trying to build muscle. So the hydration, I think, aspect is definitely there. Interestingly, so I have stopped taking creatine recently, not necessarily for any reason other than I kind of wanted to see like what happens.
Okay.
What did happen is I'm about 3 to 4 pounds lighter than I was when I was taking it. So I think, and I don't know, I have been training a little bit more, but one of the more noticeable things is that my body weight is just trending about like 3-ish to 4 pounds lighter, probably even than like when I ran the Boston Marathon last year. So I'm waking up now at like 144-ish, whereas before it was like 147, 148. So I think I am a little bit lighter not taking creatine. And I mean, that's just due to, again, like you're going to retain a little bit of water and there is some weight gain that happens with that, like not substantial. And I think there's a lot of variability with it, but just something I've noticed. Maybe it's not the creatine, maybe it is. So I'm not necessarily sure, but it was kind of, I think that may be one of the main reasons that I stopped taking it, just to see like what happens to weight. Like, am I actually having more water weight like with creatine versus not? So, so I don't know if I'll go back to like taking it, but it was kind of just like an experiment. My training's obviously been good without it. I mean, I think one of the misunderstandings about like creatine is like, you're going to experience like this huge, massive like benefit. I think it's definitely a supportive, like, yeah, whatever you're doing, if you're going to take creatine, you may be able to do it a little bit better, but it's not going to be like this, oh my gosh, I'm taking like EPO or testosterone or something like that. So yeah, so I stopped taking it recently and, yeah, not, I wasn't having like any bad side effects or anything with it. I was just like, let's see if I stop, like what happens. So that was the only thing that happened is I got a little bit lighter.
New research
Which may
paper
not be a
coming
bad
out.
thing, for running. So I don't feel any less strong either. So I guess that's a good thing as well.
I feel like your recovery time's the same.
I think it is the same, but I also have been doing a lot of things like with, for recovery. I think for recovery, like the carbs and then to some aspect, like the ketones, I think play just like a bigger role in that. Just the carbs, especially. I mean, food, number one, sleep, obviously. And then the ketones are helping, but so I don't feel any worse for recovery. I think using creatine, and this is something I've been thinking about lately, as more like a on-demand supplement may start to like make a little bit more sense than taking it all the time. Because there are all those studies showing like if you take it after sleep deprivation, if you take a real high dose, it can like bring back your cognitive function after that. I'm almost thinking like just using a single high dose, like when you need it, like after a super long run or like after a marathon race, might actually make more sense than using it all the time. But I don't have a lot of evidence to support that.
It's
just kind
interesting.
of a
I
kind of
thought
a
you need to
theory.
like have it build up in your system and take it for a few days before you.
You do for the strength benefits, basically,
Okay.
because your muscles need to be saturated. But I'm talking about like maybe if you want recovery, or maybe if you just want this like short-term brain boost, that if you take like a 20 to 30 gram dose, that might actually do something without you actually having to
That's a lot.
take like, no, it is. You can't take a, it's got to be like a real high dose of it.
So like, for example, one scoop out of the Momentous, it's like I'd say 5 grams. Yeah.
So you need like 5 or 6 scoops. That's a lot. Yeah. Make a smoothie, I guess, or something.
Yeah, be like a chunky water with that much creatine in it.
It's just like so grainy. It doesn't, creatine just does not dissolve in anything.
Right.
So you almost have to like be
fast.
mixing it and then like drink it and then mix it again.
I kind of wonder if it helps with cramping, like if your muscles are retaining more water, right?
Yeah,
and you're
I think so too. More water, but I also think, cramping can be a result of dehydration, but a lot of the times cramping is muscular fatigue as well. And that I think would make a lot more sense with creatine actually, in terms of like an energetic substrate for your muscle. And like, if it's not going to run out of energy per se, or maybe experience less like direct muscle fatigue and like lead to that cramping. So yeah, I could see it. I wish we'd test some of this stuff, but it's like they only test it in strength training studies, I think. So I think there's probably some people looking at it right now, hopefully.
Do you need to have, isn't your, don't you do research for a very like high level, like Joe Rogan, like researcher? You should pitch that to her. See if she wants to do something like that.
When I say I do research, I read research, I guess. We don't actually do experiments, unfortunately.
Okay. Okay. No experiments.
But Rhonda Patrick is who I work for. Yeah. She's been on Joe Rogan. She's not quite that big, but we're in the health space, so totally different.
Yeah. I was gonna ask. I know you do a sauna protocol. We were talking with Ethan Schuley. He said he uses sauna like 3-4 times a week before he ran 207, and he said he actually feels like, because I was like, "Do you use it for your fitness benefits?" And he said it's more for like recovery. He feels like it's a really good recovery tool for him. Do you, when you're like, making time for the sauna every week, are you doing it with the mindset of this is like good for my fitness, or are you like using it as a recovery tool more?
I would say both, and depending on what I'm trying to use it for will depend on like how I use it. So I actually have been using it once a week as like a recovery. I mean, it's a recovery tool and like a fitness thing. So I've been taking, for the last probably month or so, I've been taking Monday off every day, or every week I've been taking Monday off, which is actually very rare for me. I'm typically a harsh, like no off days unless I really need it or have to take one kind of guy. But with the race coming up, I was just like, what if I just every month, every Monday for the next month, take an off day? And then when I say off day, I mean, here's what I do. I put on my weighted vest, I walk to the gym, which is like 2 miles away. I sit in the sauna and I walk back. So it's like I'm doing 2 hours of like really low intensity stuff, but I'm not on the bike. I'm not running or anything like that. So on that day, it's more of like a recovery thing, but it's also a way to, get your heart rate up, sweat a little bit because you're not running or on the bike. But then I would say I do use it for like fitness a little bit. And then if I do it for like a fitness thing, I'm going to run and then kind of go directly into the sauna to sort of do that protocol that a lot of the research shows will maybe enhance like VO2 max. I mean, I don't really do it for VO2 max at this point, but like just enhance some of the adaptations to endurance training. But I think that all runners, I mean, regardless of the season, maybe less so during the summer if you're doing a lot of your runs in the heat, should just be using it, because whatever adaptations you're getting from the heat, like red blood cells, plasma volume, those things extend. It doesn't matter if you're not racing in the heat. Like, you're going to race better in cool conditions as well if you're heat adapted, just because you got more red blood cells, you have more plasma volume, like all those benefits extend. So I just think like runners need to be heat training year round, whether it's active or passive. I mean, you can't really do active heat training in the winter if you're in a cold place, so you can use the sauna as like passive heat training. But I think it's a huge tool. I mean, it's cool to hear that the elites are using it, like to hear that Ethan's using it. I mean, I know I've talked with Rory Linkletter, Jacob Thompson, both of them. They're like pretty heavy sauna users. So I think a lot of the pros and stuff are using it, which is cool. So I use it for both. I would say it's more of a recovery, and I do it just because I like it type of thing versus targeting any performance benefits. But I think there's a performance benefit as well for some of those adaptations.
Yeah, Danny, do you remember Michael Otteson came on and we were asking about his sauna protocol before Boston, and he said that Clayton Young's like protocol, I don't know who he got it from. Essentially, they said I think like 3 weeks. You only need to do it for like the 3 weeks leading up to the race to get like 95% of the benefits,
Oh,
the
wow.
adaptations. So he only does it like a few weeks leading up to the race, like 3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah, that it makes
Yeah.
sense. They happen so quick. I mean, within the first couple sessions, you start to get the adaptations, but then just as quickly as they come, they go. So, like, if you were to do it, I would say do it. I mean, I did a sauna session on Monday. I didn't do one later this week, but I almost did one like yesterday because within like a couple days even of not doing heat training, you start to lose it. Like, I mean, so you almost want to do it a couple days out without there's like this balance to strike, because you don't want to compromise your race by sitting in the sauna for an hour, on if you got a race in 2 days. But yeah, so you only have to do it for a couple weeks, like prior to it, and then you want to keep doing it up until like a few days before the race, ideally. Do either of you use the sauna at all?
I do. I have
do
a
you-
Costco steam sauna in my garage, but
nice.
it gets like deadly hot. Like I can, and like, well, my garage is this temperature, like 70, 80 degrees. I can only hang in it on the highest setting for like 17, 18 minutes before I'm like, my heart's like racing. I got to get out of this thing. So, yeah, it's deadly. I need to turn it down. So, but it's great. It's cheap and it's great. So,
Hell yeah. I didn't know. I'm gonna have to look into that. Costco steam sauna.
Is there like a minimum amount of time, minimum temperature that you have to be there to get the benefits?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about like what you can get your core body temperature to, and obviously most of us like aren't measuring core body temperature, but I mean, if you have I would say minimum is probably like you want a sauna if it's 160 or 170, you're gonna have to stay in there for probably 20 to 30 minutes. But it's all about like how hot you're getting, which is why I think going into it right after you run can be pretty beneficial because it's like it's more efficient. You like imagine like I mean even you, Chris, you have it in your garage. You could finish your run, hop right in that thing. Like you're still sweating when you get in the sauna, so you don't have to waste your time warming up or whatever. So I think there is a minimum, but it's hard to say because it really depends on temperature. But like 160, 170, if you're in one of those traditional saunas, you got to stay in there probably for at least 30 minutes, maybe. I would say 30-minute maximum. I mean, you don't want to do it too much, but 20 to 30 minutes, that'll get you some of the way there.
Yeah.
yeah. So it's the Home Medics Premium Steam Sauna. It's $180. It only gets up to 135 with 100% humidity though. So, and if you're in a warm garage or area, I mean, I've been in Scotty's, which is like dry heat, and it gets up to like 190, 200, very uncomfortable. But mine is equally as uncomfortable at its like peak situation or peak heat. So,
because it's the steam and you got the steam like against your skin and stuff. So,
yeah. So it's not very fun. I had a question too, since it's been getting warmer here, and I know it's essentially warm in Austin year round. When you're doing your midweek, like more intense VO2 critical velocity threshold stuff, obviously the heat and humidity is going to like raise the effort level, the heart rate. Do you, I guess I was going to say get frustrated, but like, do you find it's hard to get the paces that you want in that kind of heat, and do you force paces, or are you just more going off this is the right effort? Because I think a lot of people, like, they're in great shape, they have a good spring marathon, and then they go into summer and all of a sudden they can't hit the paces that they were hitting all spring, and then they tend to like force it, get up to zone 5 on like a threshold day or whatever. So I'm curious, like, do you try to force paces and just hit paces no matter what, and then hope that you heat adapt over the build, or are you really just focusing on effort and heat?
yeah, unfortunately, I probably try to force paces more often than I probably should. So like the pace, the workout gets adapted to the pace, and so it's like, oh, heart rate be damned. Basically, it's like if my heart rate's gonna get a little higher than it probably should be, then I'm gonna do it at the expense of what time I want to hit. That'll depend though. Obviously, like this summer, I won't be training for a race necessarily. I mean, I'll be doing some races, but not like a specific race where I have like a goal time in mind. So I'll probably be a little bit more lenient and just do it based off of effort. But yeah, I tend to kind of force paces. It'll be a little bit too like probably too difficult sometimes. You can really like cook yourself literally and metaphorically. But I'm not saying that that's the best option. I do think that everybody should probably you should adapt like your expectations a little bit during some of those. And I don't necessarily know if you should like try to target a specific heart rate, but like yeah, just monitor it and go by effort, especially if it's like humid because that can humid is like sneaky sometimes. Humidity, it can really just take it out of you. I always find humidity is way worse than heat in terms of
Yeah.
how it like affects me. I think it's because I sweat so much and I sweat more when it's like humid versus hot. So like you're just like, man, it'll kill you in the humidity. But yeah, so I would say if I have a race that I'm training for, I'm gonna try to force that pace just because I like really want to make sure I can run that pace. But if it's just kind of general base training stuff, yeah, just modify it a little bit, go based on heart rate or effort, kind of based on or versus pace. That kind of be
Yeah.
my strategy.
Chris, what's been your approach?
I've also been forcing pace. Unfortunately, I
Yeah,
should not be doing that. But for me, it's like, like I'm running Berlin, which is in September. So the peak
Oh, cool.
training months are going to be in like gnarly August, July
Mhm.
humidity in Louisville. So it's going to be tough for me because, I'd like to, run 218, 219 in Berlin. So I don't know, 515 to 518 pace, something in that range. And like on most long run days when it's like hot and humid in Louisville, that's going to be like probably impossible to do.
Yeah.
So like mentally, it's going to be hard for me to be like, okay, I was running 525 for my marathon pace in the heat and humidity, but like I don't know. I kind of need that mental confidence where I'm like, oh, like I nailed this long run with some pace work at, or like this long tempo at marathon pace, and it felt good. And so that's like kind of what scares me about like having a September marathon is like I'm not gonna get those like solid pace confidence boosts, but I'm gonna have to
Mm.
trust that like the humidity like is worth the pace, I guess. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah, I know. It can be hard and like to not psych yourself out, but like you said, I think you just have to have the confidence that like if I can run a 525 in this crappy heat, like will
Yeah.
come, when it's in Berlin and if it's cool and not humid, like I'm gonna be able to hit a 515. That's where I think heart rate comes into play. It's just like what should my heart rate be at a 515 pace, and then just try to hit that heart rate during the run versus an actual 515 pace. But yeah, it can be tough, man, because it's all. I mean, it is all about time, right? It's like you want to be able to run that actual pace, so it can be hard to say like I'm not going to run this pace for today, and you can always like shorten the effort or something. There's a lot of ways to modify it, but yeah, it can be hard when time is
Yeah.
really the end all be all when it comes down to it.
We had our kid last Monday, got home like Monday
Congratulations, by
evening.
the way.
Oh, thanks, dude. Yeah, thanks. It's
I'm
been
meaning to
fun.
watch your YouTube video. I saw you just posted something.
Oh yeah, I've been trying to be goofy with the thumbnails. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do some goofy thumbnails, see how it works.
Nice.
So we'll see. But yeah, so we got home. My first run, I took 2 days off after the baby was born, and then I look at my like training. Jacob coaches me, and it was like 4 miles at 515 pace, 8 by 300 meter hills at 5K, and then 2 miles at 515 pace. So like on a perfect weather day, like great conditions, no wind, even on the track, that'd be like pretty hard workout. And so I was like, you know what? Like it was like 3 or 4 p.m. It was 90 degrees, like super humid. And I was like, I'm gonna go for it anyway. And so I, started and I was like, okay, let's just like keep it at 185 heart rate for the 4 miles, like and just like that's probably around the right effort. And I went 522, 536, 556, 622,
Oh no.
185 heart rate on the 622. I'm dead serious. And
Oh wow.
there's some sleep deprivation with the kid too,
Of
but
course, of course.
yeah, so yeah, that I was absolutely humbled on that one. So yes,
Oh man.
humidity is not a joke for sure.
Yeah. I
Brutal.
didn't know it got so humid in Louisville. I guess the Midwest, man, it can be pretty brutal. If you consider Louisville to be Midwest, I guess I would, but
Yeah, it's up for debate. People say it's South, people say it's
ah,
Midwest. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough. So you are not running a fall marathon?
No, just because my wife's due in September, so that's kind of what was one of the reasons for doing. I mean, not that you can't, like you can obviously make it work, but I'm like, I'm just gonna like let that be the focus and not come fall like and not do a race. So that was partially the reasoning for grandma's, and then we have lots of races and stuff around here in Austin, so I'll just do some local stuff when it comes up and just kind of more. I want to try to do not just like base running over the summer, but like try to do something fun. Like, I don't know. I'm like thinking, what could I do as like a challenge or something during the summer that would kind of be fun, like keep things interesting. So I'm like, could I do like I'm gonna end up like doing something stupid, but it's like, could I run like a BQ marathon like every week for like 3 months or something like that, or do something like that? I think it'd be kind of fun. I don't know, try some challenges, maybe do like a 30-mile run just because I've never run that far, but something that's less race focused and keeps you motivated a little bit.
You could do a high rocks with the backwards VPN hat on.
Yeah. Well, my brother actually he signed up for a high rocks and he was like, hey, you want to do one? I'm like, maybe. I might just sign up for one and try to do it.
Ooh, my understanding is like if you're really pushing in that, it's like pretty much like 5K like effort for an hour essentially. Like it's just like completely miserable. So I have zero interest in doing it, but it's 5 miles of running. Yeah, so you have to be like a pretty good runner to be high level at it. But well, I don't know. I don't have a ton of interest in doing it, unfortunately. But
no,
marathon glued,
for sure,
So
it's the first love.
Yeah. First level.
What's on your schedule, Danny? You got anything, any race?
Yeah, I might be pacing our friend for Berlin. It's still kind of up in the air. He's trying to figure out if he gets one through Achilles International. His name's Adam Pop. He's been on the pod. He's a para athlete, veteran, single leg amputee. So that would be really cool to do as like a 259 kind of training run for the big one, which is Indy. It's like
hell yeah, man.
Yeah, Indy's the best. It's like
the premier.
Indy's going to be the 8th major. I'm convinced. Yeah.
Dude, it's so slept on, man. I'm serious. Like, I don't want more people. I got to do that race again, maybe next year, but it's so good. I mean, I've only done it once. I act like I've done it every year, but it's such a good race. It's so good.
Yeah, it's so good. And, I feel like with training recently, I haven't been super set on like a time goal, just kind of seeing where the fitness is taking me as I train, kind of like what sounds like you're doing for grandmas. And it's been sustainable and it's been enjoyable to not be glued to that time, but I really want to experiment with like dropping some weight again and just see like how to balance that with like volume and hitting workouts and stuff. I had a couple workouts last when I was training for Mesa in February where I would like essentially like not have eaten a lot the day before and for me, and like I just remember the easiest workout of the block, it was like 10 by 2 minutes on 1 minute jog, and the 2 minutes were not even hard. It was like threshold or something, and I just like could not hit the paces because I was so depleted.
It's the weight stuff is so it's difficult to get down because like if you have weight to lose and are like trying to lose weight, I mean what I always say is like do it during a base phase in the off season. Like don't simultaneously try to cut weight and train for a marathon. I mean, you may drop a little weight training for a marathon naturally, like some runners do, just because you're like raising your volume a bit. But honestly, a goal for me sometimes is like, if I could gain weight during this marathon build, that would be a win for me, because like you're not going to gain a ton, you're not going to gain 10 pounds, but it's like you're not under fueling if you're gaining weight. So if I'm like a little bit heavier or the same weight at the end of this block, and that's almost what I tried to do at the end of this marathon block, I'm like, if I'm a little bit heavier when I end versus what I start, then that's good because I know I'm not like basically running like depleted or whatever. So, and obviously it's so unique to everybody. Everybody, like some people have weight to lose, some people have weight to gain. Some people like, I'm kind of just tried to maintain a little bit. I mean, I could afford to maybe gain a couple pounds. I don't think it would slow me down, but, you just don't want to be operating at a deficit when you're training very hard. But during the off season, like you said, if you're training without a time goal, might be the best time to do it. Just when you're doing easy base miles, when being slightly under fueled is not going to be like a bane on your workouts.
I'm 6'4", 190. I think I ran Mesa at 195-ish and ran 237. So I'm like, if I can get to 185, I'm like, what could I do then? I mean, I feel like I really take off some serious time. That's a lot of weight. I mean, I don't...
For sure, it is,
So...
And gradually is like the way to do it, a pound.
A couple hundred calories.
Not even probably that. But yeah, exactly.
A day.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
All right, Daniel. Anything else for Brady before we let him get his 2 nights before the race sleep?
yeah, it's been too long since we've had you on last, man. I want to do some studying on some of your newsletters. I've kind of fallen off on physiologically speaking, so I'm going to get back on
That's
that.
all right.
I
So
want to
we'll have to
bounce
keep up.
some science off you. Yeah. So
Yeah, man, we'll
Yeah.
do like a science episode. There's like a lot of stuff there's a lot of just interesting stuff now. I mean, the most interesting things I think are carbs. Huge talk on just carbs and like what's good, what's bad, like how much do you need. And then I'm interested in the nomeo and the bicarb stuff, but I really need to like take some time to sit with the evidence on that stuff because I'm kind of a bit skeptical of both, to be honest. Like I'm kind of
yeah,
skeptical of nomeo. I'm kind of skeptical of bicarb, like when it comes to the marathon. But I need to like sit down and like read some of this stuff before I go and talk about it. Be like, nomeo's bullshit. I don't want to say that unless I actually like know the research. I
yeah,
did do a little bit of reading like last week on it because I'm like, what is like, how is this supposed to work? And interestingly enough, what I came away with, I went on their website and like they have studies on there. Some studies, some are just like papers that haven't been peer reviewed, obviously, but they're like, nomeo lowers lactate levels in the body, but we don't really know how. And I'm like, okay, well that's interesting. So anyway, more to come on that, I guess. But they're like, it's doing something that lowers lactate. It's not buffering lactate like bicarb, but they know it doesn't work like bicarb. It doesn't buffer lactate, but it's potentially allowing you to use lactate more. I'm just like, I don't know. I need to read into this a little bit more. So
interesting.
granted, I've taken it and I've had great workouts after taking it, but that could have happened without it. So you never know. It's hard with this stuff.
If the what do you call the placebo? If the placebo works, then use it. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
you
Right.
get the mental edge.
We had a meeting with them and they kind of just like we just kind of naturally like we'll talk about it or have it in content, no like actual sponsorship deal, and they'll just like send us free products sometimes. And
Nice.
they essentially just said like don't like talk like get sciencey about it. Like what they were just like just say like it makes me feel good in workouts and stuff because like, and I'm not trying to like bash.
Funny.
Yeah, like
No,
I'm not
no,
trying to bash them or anything, but like yeah, they're it's just like it's kind of funny that they said that because they're just like yeah we don't. I guess I don't know. There's some rules or law or something. I don't know. Where like they can't like have creators like openly talking about like the scientific or like numbers about it. Like if you like really look at all of their creators that post about it, they're not really saying like
No, they're not.
percentages and stuff. They're
Yep.
very careful about telling them not to do that. So it's kind of interesting. But they do
Yeah,
have
so I
good
gotta-
testing. So but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I had to
Good test
do some
results.
do some investigating. It's interesting. So Dr. Rhonda Patrick, who I work for, she is really into broccoli sprouts because not for necessarily the improvements in endurance, obviously, but like sulforaphane, basically the compound in broccoli sprouts is like very beneficial for health. It's like this mild like stressor, basically. And so the isothiocyanates that are in like nomeo or whatever, I've been meaning to ask her about it. Like, hey, would this work? Why would it work? Like, can you actually bottle this stuff up? So I've been meaning to ask her about it because she's kind of like the expert on like how it might work. But I don't know. They got a sciencey looking website, and I just have a little bit.
Yeah, they do.
I had some questions. So
Yeah, I'm waiting for the first US brand to like make a copycat of it and sell it for cheaper. So it's gonna happen eventually. So we'll see when that happens.
it will eventually. I mean, it's not a hard product to make probably. Well, I say it's not, but it kind of is because again, I'm not like an expert here. I'm not a chemist, but it's just like I think purifying the broccoli sprout extract into like those chemicals and making not the chemical but like the compound and then making sure it like stays active in that bottle, which is why it's in glass, I think, because it needs to be in glass to not like degrade. I think that really requires a lot. So that's one of the things when it comes to supplements. It's like you're going to see copycats of it, but if you tested their product, it probably wouldn't have any of the isothiocyanates in there and like actually work. So it might just be like blended up broccoli juice that good drinking
For
which just
absolutely no
sounds
reason.
disgusting. Just like baby food, just like I might just start taking baby food like broccoli and just eating it before the race. This is my nomeo. It's cheaper too, right?
Yeah, people love
Yeah.
making that kind of content, making their own gels at home and stuff too. So
Oh man,
it's
I
funny.
can't make my own. I don't know what you guys are, but everybody was like, it's so much cheaper. I'm like, yeah, but it's not about you pay for stuff, okay? Sometimes you pay for convenience and stuff
It's
that's gonna work.
convenience,
Like,
yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
make a Morton in my kitchen. I'm sorry, like I can't do it.
Yeah, yeah. If you really wanted to look into it, I'm sure you could, but it's just like you got to order all the individual products. Like, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
like it's not
We got
convenient. Yeah.
jobs, man. We got jobs and kids.
Yeah, I don't have time for that. Yeah.
Start like a Breaking Bad, but like for sports gels. Just got like this whole chemistry, this whole like lab in my house.
Be great content.
That would be.
Really good. All right, Brady, thanks for hopping on, bro.
Alright.
Best of luck at grandma's. I'm gonna put your as always, your Twitter, X, and Instagram in the show notes. I didn't realize you got like 30K on Twitter, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm almost at 30K. I know. Yeah,
What a guy.
getting there. Getting
Wow.
there.
Brady's him.
Dude, when I pull up your Twitter on like laptop, the first, I don't know why, because it's from January 29th, 2025, but it says Coke Zero has 70 milligrams of sodium and 90 milligrams of potassium. It's basically an electrolyte supplement with caffeine, performance fuel. So great stuff.
That's funny. That's not my pinned tweet, is it?
I don't know. It doesn't say it's pinned, but it's
my
on
more popular
desktop.
one, I
so
think. That one went
yeah.
viral, so and it's got
It
like
did, yeah.
millions and millions of views. I was like, man, it's the stupidest stuff that I post. Nothing that I ever put time into is ever going to go viral. It's just going to be like some meme that I came up with in 2 seconds.
That's every Instagram post that does well for us is minimal effort, and then all the ones with a lot of effort do bad. So I don't get it, but
I don't know. What's the moral of the story? I don't know. Yeah,
it's a brain rot time. So people like brain rot. So
yeah.
But all right,
that's why I appreciate it. It was fun chatting with all y'all.
Yeah, best of luck. We'll be tracking your Brady, and
appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll have you back on soon.
Sounds good.
Peace.